What's up, everybody? Joey Vantes here with my beautiful wife, Kat, for Truth Uncensored. And we wanted to share with you guys a little more in depth what happened this weekend. I put up this viral video because we almost witnessed somebody become a victim of a major crime. And it was quite wild, to say the least. But to give you context, let me show you the video right now, so watch this.
This is an urgent PSA to all young ladies, high school students, college students, etc. As a father of daughters myself, this absolutely terrified me, but it pissed me off at the same time, and I'm glad I was able to catch it. My wife and I are going out to one of our favorite little dessert spots, and we take this back road that we never take, right by a college campus. And as we pull down, we see this young girl who's taking a nice stroll at night, as she should be able to, walking her dog. And as she's doing it, I notice behind her on the street, where there's no lighting whatsoever almost, she's walking, and this guy comes up walking right behind her. I'm talking super fast. And as he's walking behind her, he's approaching her quickly. He suddenly notices that me and my wife are right there in our car, and I stop my car to watch what he's doing. And he gets spooked by it, runs behind this tree and hides. And then when I pull up next to him, he suddenly starts acting like he's on his phone texting somebody. And then he waits to try to see if I leave. And I roll down my window and I call him out. Boom, he takes off down the street going past this lady, right? So then I pull up to her. I have to call her over, tell her what I saw, tell her a little bit about the situation and whatnot, so she can kind of be aware of what's going on. And I made her aware of what was happening. She was completely oblivious. It terrified her. She had no idea. And so the point is, if you're a young woman and you're going to be walking around at night, you need to be well aware of your surroundings. Walk with friends, walk with somebody. If you don't have anybody to walk with, get in a well-lit area that is safe. Don't put yourself in a position where you're potentially gonna get ran up on by one of these types of people, right? School just started for many people across the country, and the last thing you want to do is to become a victim of a situation of something like this. So please be well aware of your surroundings and keep yourself protected at all times. Carry a weapon, carry some mace, whatever you need to do to keep yourself situated and protected so you are not becoming a victim this school season.
Okay, so once again, going through the comments, I didn't realize it that this could have been like a God intervention moment.
Yeah.
Where again, like the way we took the back roads, because we started off by you showing me somewhere you used to live when you were younger. But then again, now it made sense on the cuts and the turns, and just, you know, hoping that this area was going to lead to us
going through a neighborhood that we never
getting
go
to our
through.
dessert spot. We didn't know we were going to end up on a last dead-end road, but once again, it was dark. Maybe one street light, dark houses all around, but it was actually you. I was so busy with the babies that you called it out.
Yeah.
And you noticed this guy kind of running up on this girl, and a moment you were just like, Katrina, do you see what's going on?
That was the crazy part about it. It's like, because for deeper context, we just dropped our older girls off at their youth group. We have our little ones in the back, and we're going to our dessert spot to just go grab something, hang out for a little bit, and then go back. And so here we are cutting through a neighborhood, and we come to this dead end. We see this girl with her dog, completely oblivious. You say she's on her cell phone.
Yeah.
This guy pops out of nowhere. He's being evasive. You can see that he's super shady, and he was targeting this girl. He had his eye on her the whole time. And it wasn't until we stopped and we're there and kind of scouting everything and saying, hold on a second, I think this guy is not with this girl. So finally, as we call him out,
the way he was running up, I thought they were together, because I was like, well, maybe, you know, he's catching up to her. Maybe she was waiting for him, because once again, she's on her phone with her dog and she's looking down. And the way he was running up, I'm just thinking like, oh, they may be together. But then the moment you stopped and you're like, no, something's off about this. I'm going to stop and I'm going to watch him. And he looks at you, and then he hides behind a tree.
Yeah.
I was like, oh no, this is something.
Then he starts acting like he's texting. Yeah. And then as soon as I roll down the window and call him out, boom, he's down the street. And the thing is like, being a dad, your senses are heightened, especially being a dad for girls. And I've seen a lot of the comments, right? A lot of people have been like, well, maybe you should instead focus on telling the guys not to be creepy and do that. Look, at the end of the day, you're going to have good men, good women, bad women. You're going to have good and bad across the board.
Yeah.
So the point being is, listen, I'm coming to share this PSA, this public service announcement, if you will, to just let people know who are coming back into school. Be aware of your surroundings, because so many young kids, especially nowadays, are oblivious to their surroundings.
Yeah.
I mean, they're drinking
They're
their latte.
listening to their AirPods.
Yeah, got their
it's
AirPods
the
in, looking
where
at their phone.
you know, you don't really hear anything. You could be screaming to watch out for yourself. Like anything could happen. And once again, somebody running up on you. And simply, if you are stuck on your phone, or once again, you have the music on or whatever it is you're listening to, you're not hearing that individual behind you. So it was even an awareness for myself, which I normally don't take walks alone. But then again, you are in a prime spot. It was a college campus area. After, you know, you called him out, he runs off into the park. So
and then for context, and then just to let people know, what we did is after we told her and kind of made her aware and said, hey, we're going to hang out, she was like, oh my God, my skin's crawling. I can't believe
she didn't
that.
Know.
We said, we're going to hang around the area. Get home.
Yes.
We're going to keep an eye out for this guy. And people are like in the comments as well, why didn't you call the cops, right?
Yeah.
My thing is, when you live in a blue city where there's a bunch of crime, and it's no offense to the cops, unfortunately, a lot of times they are overwhelmed with the amount of crime and different things that are going on, especially during the weekends.
Yes.
And so it's like, you want to call the cops and just wait 25, 30 minutes and leave the area and potentially this girl ends up dead? No. Well, I have this opportunity here to potentially protect somebody and potentially save their life, right? We're going to do it.
Yeah.
And so needless to say, we scouted out, we continue to watch her, we follow this guy, we cut around the corner, he's cutting in and out of different alleyways, we find him walking in the park. And I rolled out my window again and said, hey, I'm watching you, you know, and so that way he can get spooked, and he took off.
Yeah.
And that's the whole point, is like.
And then again, I know some people had commented, well, why didn't you take pictures? You should have. Again, when you're in the moment, I'm not immediately pulling out my phone. I'm trying to get to her, and we want to make her aware of it. And I need her to listen. And even calling her to the car, which is still skeptic. Two people, you know, are calling you to the car. So even with men and women, it doesn't look that safe.
Yeah.
But she came, you know, not very close to the vehicle. She stayed on the sidewalk. But once again, she was completely clueless.
Completely oblivious.
She was unaware. She was 1 block away from home. Again, it's dark, but then, you know, any woman should be able to go out and take a walk, any young girl, but sadly, you are seeing some of this end in tragedy. And, you know, it's just that one moment. But once again, I really do now see it now through, you know, I didn't pay attention to it quite before, but people were saying, hey, that you're a godsend. Like, that could have impacted her for the rest of her life.
Absolutely, yeah.
And yeah, good thing you had those, you know, you're very aware of it with those dad eyes
that you have.
That's the thing,
man, is you have to. You got to be aware. You got to keep your eyes out. You don't know, you know, what situation you could be involved in. You got to kind of keep your head on a swivel, especially nowadays. And, you know, hey, I don't look at it as like, oh my God, look at what we did. It's more of just, it was more about putting out a video to make a public service announcement that school just started nationwide, high school, college. Got to be aware of your surroundings.
Absolutely.
Can't be sipping on your latte, scrolling through your phone with earpods on in a bad area or in the dark. Like, walk with friends, walk in a place that's well lit. Yes, I totally agree. People should be able to be in peace no matter where they're at, and be able to just live, right? And not be bothered.
Yeah.
But the truth is that the reality is, let me give you, you know, a reality pill here. We live in a world, unfortunately, where there's people who do bad things.
Yeah.
And needless to say, without going into it too much, it happens. And so you have to be aware of your surroundings. You got to know where you are at all times. Know who's around you, you know, and just have something on you, right? Pepper spray, maybe a small Glock or something. Seriously, a knife, something to defend yourself, that in the event that something were to happen, you can protect yourself. And unfortunately, a lot of times, even people's pets, they're so friendly. Like this girl had a pretty big dog.
The dog did not bark.
Dog didn't bark
yeah.
once. The guy was walking behind them. The dog was just as oblivious as the girl was.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it's sad.
Yeah.
But yeah, so again, you got to protect yourself, and the best way to do it is to be aware of what's going on around you.
So is it just looking back, looking forward, looking to the side, just monitoring everything around you then?
Yeah. Know the areas where you go. Be mindful of that. You know, take a look around. Make sure there's nobody behind you, in front of you. Scout things out. Don't walk in dark areas. You know what I mean? Like, if you got to go out and you got to take your dog out to use the restroom, whatever, go to a well-lit area. Find communities of people. Research some things in, you know, nextdoor.com or various things like that to find out where you can go, where you know that you're going to be safe.
Yeah.
And obviously, you can't know every single detail 100% of the time. You don't know what's going to be there and what's not. but
Yeah.
at least you prepare in the best way that you can, so you give yourself a higher probability of protection, of safety, and are not putting yourself in a spot where you're going to become a victim of a crime like that.
And I know you had the comments, well, you should educate men not to be doing this. And, there are women too who end up doing some crimes as well. But then it's like, well, yeah, if that was a good case scenario that we could have all men listen, but sadly, like you said, we don't have that. We don't have men that are just going to listen to a social media post or another man educating them on how not to do that. There's just sick people out there. And it's just sad to say we have not only heard and read a lot of cases and witnessed things on the news.
For sure.
Sadly, a lot of joggers, a lot of women that were taking walks, or women that were just trying to get to their vehicle from, the grocery store, the retail store. And there are men out there and predators. Trafficking is huge right now. Again, I would like to bring up that we are dealing with the migrants, that a lot of migrants were led into on top of that.
Yeah.
So it's even more an awareness that we have to make sure that we are, like you said, being aware of our surroundings.
Yeah. And that's the thing as well, a lot of people are self-deporting. They say there's over 1 million people, they believe, up to this point now since Trump has come into presidency, that they've self-deported. That means they left the country on their own will. The people who are probably the most violent criminals, they're not going to self-deport. They're going to try to stay here because that opens up more opportunity for them, if you will, as opposed to those who are leaving. And so you have to be mindful that while things are clearing up and getting better, there's still a lot of stuff going on. And if you're not mindful, if you're not aware, guess what? You're probably going to put yourself in a category of a higher probability of becoming a victim of some stupid crime because of the fact that you were not giving yourself awareness, or you just think everything's going to be happy-go-lucky. It's not going to happen to you.
Yeah.
There's no way. You hear about these stories, but it'll never be you, right?
Yeah.
And
I think that was something different, even for me as a mom, that, again, driving with you that night and witnessing it, not really knowing, oh my God, we potentially stopped something here, like it was right in front of us.
Yeah.
And it was in the moment of, again, I think if we were 60 seconds late or a couple of minutes late, you just don't know. That guy was, I want to say, maybe about 10 feet away from her?
At least about 10, maybe 15 feet away. But then he got so close right there at the very end. And you just don't know what's possible. And I think that's the main thing, is people have to be aware.